Hey there, good morning again. This is your entrepreneur in residence, Grace or Rebecca Rahmani in Macedonia, and I'm going to talk about what business you're in. I've been talking to a lot of companies, and when companies develop organically, sometimes they end up being a little confused about what their business really is. So I was talking to somebody, and they're like, well, maybe we need to divide this out into 2 presentations, not 1 presentation, we're not sure, because it's a little confusing, right? So how does that happen? Usually it happens if you're in a business. So I'm going to give an example, right? So for example, you're a construction guy and you do interiors of homes. And let's say you're in this business and you're fixing up people's showers often. And hi Sheila. And you figure out that one of the problems is setting up the tiling in the shower so that it's the water runs properly, and you invent a tool. You invent a tool so that it'll make your life better every time you tile a shower. And some of your construction friends say to you, you know what, I want that tool too. Like, oh, okay, well now, what business are you in, right? You've got some tools, you're selling some tools, and then eventually, so that's making a little money on the side, and you're also still in the construction business, right? But to you, you're kind of in one business. Maybe you haven't divided out into 2 sections even, and you're just in business. You're like in construction, but you're also selling these tools. And then you're like, this is crazy. My friends keep coming to me asking to buy this shower tiling tool. I should just sell it to hardware shops, right? Like, why should I sell it individually? It's crazy. I don't want to make an online web store or something. I sell it to hardware shops. And then you start selling it to hardware shops. And then eventually, you're like, oh, thanks for sharing. And then you're like, well, instead of selling it to hardware shops, maybe I'll go to Stanley. I'll just sell them the whole patent, right? And then I won't have to be in this business of selling tiling tools because I'm just a construction guy, right? I wanna be in the construction business, but I invented this tool. If I sell it to Stanley, I won't be in that business anymore. And so from your perspective as the builder, maybe you're just in one business. But actually, how to define your business is who's your customer, right? So in the business, when you were in the construction business and you were just building people's bathrooms, right? Your customers were people who wanted to renovate their homes. Or maybe your customers were people who were bigger construction companies who were building a whole lot of homes, right? So your business is in relation to your customer. Then the next, hi Sheila, and then the next business you were in was you're selling tools to your friends who are also in the construction business. Now you're in the tool business and your customer is people like you who are construction guys. Eventually, when you decided that you were going to sell this thing to hardware stores, now hardware stores are your customer, and now you're a tool supplier to hardware stores, right? You're not a construction guy anymore, you're a tool supplier. And then if you decided, I'm going to sell the whole damn thing to Stanley, and they're going to create the tools and they're going to build the tools themselves because I don't want to have a factory, now your customer is Stanley, right? The hardware manufacturer. And now you're actually selling intellectual property, right? You're selling a blueprint for a tool. So this happens all the time in the software world, or I see somebody they're developers, they're trying to develop an app, they find out that some particular part of the app, whether navigation, you can just buy navigation, but let's say it's navigation or something, they find some particular part of the app is missing and they want to develop that. So then they're like, am I in the software business selling an SDK, or am I in the business of developing apps, right? So the businesses that you're in all depend on who you're selling the thing to, and you don't get to define what business you are in, your customers do. So whatever business, thanks for the like, guys. So in order to define your business, you want to see who your customers are. And when you look at that, you'll probably find out that you're in more than one business. That in some cases you're selling a service, in some cases you're selling something at fixed price, in some cases you're selling part of the technology you developed. So, and then, we'll talk again tomorrow about how do you decide what business you want to be in. I'm sitting today in Macedonia. I'm going to be meeting with a couple of startups, but one of the startups I'm meeting with is exactly in that dilemma. Okay, we've developed this thing, we've got an app, we have something inside our app that we could sell as a separate thing. What business are we in? So tomorrow maybe I'll talk a little bit about how do you decide which of those businesses to pick and how to pick the customer that's best for you. So Thanks. I see that Igor just joined. I'm just wrapping up here because apparently 5 minutes is more than the average attention span. I'm going to be today with 3 different startups. I'm going to be at Brainstorm. I'm going to be meeting with Startup Macedonia. I'm going to be meeting with Let's. So I won't be available in public room today. So if you want to set something up with me, you can set something up tomorrow. So thanks so much, and talk to you soon.